Experiment 10, Acid and Base Titration 2. I know this may look messy, but this is sort of how I organize things in my head. So for step 1 of the calculations, we had to find the amount of milliliters, or the amount of NaOH that we added to the concentration. So as we can see, we found that there was 24 milliliters added to the concentration, so that's 0.024 liters of NaOH added. For step 2, we had to calculate the amount of moles of NaOH that was added to the concentration. So we can see that 0.105 m NaOH is the concentration of NaOH that was added to the solution. The calculation is 0.024 liters of NaOH times 0.105 moles of NaOH over 1 liter of NaOH. And we got 0.00252 moles of NaOH. For step 3, the moles of NaOH is going to equal the moles of HCl because the endpoint that is going to be needed to be reached is going to have a 1-to-1 ratio of NaOH to HCl. So the amount of HCl is also 0.0252 moles. For step 4, which was row 7, we had 25 milliliters of HCl, and we take 0.0252 moles of HCl times 1 mole of HCl over 0.025 liters of HCl. This showed us the concentration of HCl that was in the solution, which is 0.1008. This final thing is the actual calculations, or the formula, the full formula of the calculations of experiment 9. Here is the step 1, or row 3, 0.024 liters of NaOH. To do this calculation, I will show you the crossing out method that I use. So for this, the first step, we cross out the liters of NaOH and the liters of NaOH, and then we're left with just the moles of NaOH. The moles of NaOH that was left is 0.0252 moles of NaOH, and that is right here. Then we have to find step 3, or row 3, which is going to equal the exact same of 0.0252 moles of HCl. So now we cross out moles of HCl, or moles of NaOH, and moles of NaOH. Then we're left with the moles of HCl, which was 0.0252 moles of HCl. Then we carry it out to find the concentration of HCl. We cross out the moles of HCl, the moles of HCl. And then we are left with the concentration of HCl. So to go over it again, this was the amount of NaOH that was added to the Erlenmeyer flask to reach the endpoint. This was the moles of NaOH that was added, or the concentration of moles of NaOH. This is the concentration of HCl. And then this is the actual concentration of HCl, which is 1.008. Or wait, this is actually wrong. This should be 0.1008 molarity of HCl, which is right here. 0.1008 molarity HCl.